Good evening, students. In this video, we have to discuss about the third chapter, theories of employment and income. We have to continue the rest of the concept. The last video, I taught about the classical theory of employment, especially the Say's law of market. We discussed it. Let us see Keynes' theory of employment and income. John Maynard Keynes. This is his full name. In short, J.M. Keynes. We can say Keynes. Okay? Keynes' book, The General Theory of Employment and Interest and Money, which is published in 1936, it is a highly significant work that marked a turning point in the development of modern economic theory. The theory of Keynes was against the belief of classical economists that the market forces in capitalist economy adjust themselves to attain the equilibrium. The book of General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, which is published by Keynes. This book only, very important book, that is against the belief of the classical economist. Say's, Pigou, David Ricardo, Malthus, they are all coming under classical economics. Okay? What are their believings? Supply creates its own demand. So, the idea, the break given by J.M. Keynes to the classical economist. That's why the Keynes called as modern economist. The theory of Keynes was against the belief of classical economists that the market forces in the capitalist economy adjust their equilibrium. So, Keynes not only criticized the classical economists but also advocated his own theory of employment. He gave one theory about employment. So, Keynes' theory was a general theory as it tried to explain all types of situations, that is, not only equilibrium level. Let me go through the short note on J.M. Keynes. He was one of the most influential economists of the 20th century. Very important economist also. He is also called as modern economist. He was born in Cambridge in 1883. In addition, his work as an economist, he held a position as civil servant, a director of the Bank of England. Okay, he worked in England as a civil servant and leader of British delegation of negotiator at the Bretton Woods Conference at points in this career. Bretton Woods Conference, in the 10th standard, you may remember, isn't it? Bretton Woods Conference happened in 1930. So, economic theory based on his idea is known as Keynesian economics and remain highly influential today, particularly in the field of macroeconomics. The idea given by J.M. Keynes about full employment, income and unemployment, so that the Keynesian economics is very important here. So this is highly influential today macroeconomics. So without Keynesian economics, there is no macroeconomic studies. Understood? This is the short note on J.M. Keynes. Let us see the effective demand, the concept of effective demand given by J.M. Keynes. The starting point of J.M. Keynes' theory of employment and income is the principle of effective demand. Okay, the concept is bringing by the Keynes from his book, which is Theory of Employment and Income and Principle of Effective Demand. What is effective demand? It denotes money actually spent by the people on products of industry The money which entrepreneur receive is paid in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. These are the rewards for the factors. We know that. Therefore, effective demand equals to national income. Can you understand? See, the money which entrepreneur receiving is paid in the form of rent, wages, interest and profit. These are all reward, isn't it? Rewards getting by the producer from the factors. Therefore, effective demand is equal to national income. See, an increase in the aggregate effective demand would increase the level of employment. This is the concept of effective demand said by J.M. Keynes. What is that? An increase in the aggregate effective demand would increase the level of employment, which means if the rent, wages, interest and profit is increasing continuously means the level of employment also will be increased. A decline in the total effective demand, if it is decreasing, it would be lead to unemployment. There is no vacancy. Therefore, total employment of a country can be determined with the help of the total demand of a country. So that the employment depends upon the aggregate effective demand. What are the aggregate effective demand? If the rent, wages, interest and profit increasing continuously, if demand, that means the effective demand would increase, the level of employment also would be increased. According to Keynes, effective demand signifies the money spent on consumption of goods and services and on investment. Okay, money spent on consumption and goods and services and on investment. The total expenditure is equal to the national income. Whatever expenditure did by the producer, which is spent on consumption and investment, that and all expenditure, so that the total expenditure is equal to the national income, which is equivalent to the national output. So that the national income is equal to national output. The relationship between employment and output of the economy depends upon the level of effective demand, which is determined by the forces of aggregate supply and aggregate demand. So that the formula given here, effective demand is equal to Y. Y means national income, equal to C plus I, which means output equal to employment. According to Keynes, output is equal to employment because of the effective demand. So that effective demand determines the level of employment in the economy. You should understand here, the effective demand only determines the employment level in the economy. When effective demand is increased, employment will increase. When effective demand decrease, the level of employment will be decline. The effective demand will be determined by the two determination, namely consumption and investment expenditure. If the consumption and investment expenditure happening in the economy, the effective demand will be active. So that the consumption function depends upon income of the people and marginal propensity to consume, how much they are consuming at last from their income. So depends upon their marginal propensity to consume. According to Keynes, if income increases, consumption will also increase, but the less than the increase in income, what will be there? The consumption also will be decreased. The rate of interest and marginal efficiency of capital determine the investment level. So that the rate of interest depends upon the money supply and liquidity preference. The money supply and liquidity preference activated by the people. Keynes has given importance to the concept of liquidity preference. What is that? The liquidity preference means the common peoples having money for their unforeseen expenditure. That is called as liquidity. Liquidity preference is based on three motives, namely transaction motive, precautionary motive, and speculative motive. MEC depends on two factors, namely prospective yield of capital, asset, and supply price of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital. MEC means marginal efficiency of capital depends on two factors, namely prospective yield of capital, asset, and supply price of capital. So here a flow chart you can understand about the Keynesian flow chart, which is called aggregate demand function. In short, ADF we can say. In the Keynesian model, output is determined mainly by aggregate demand. Aggregate demand means the total demand. So output is mainly determined by the total demand according to Keynes. The aggregate demand is the amount of money which entrepreneur expect to get by selling the output produced by the number of laborers employed in their firm. So that it is the expected income or revenue from the sale of output at different levels of employment. Suppose which is depends upon the laborer employed in the firm, so that they can earn output or selling their products more or less depends upon the laborer employed. So the revenue received by the firm depends upon their employment. Okay, that's why Keynes insisting here output. So that the output is very very important here, which is mainly determined by aggregate demand. So that the firm expecting income or revenue from sale of their product at the different levels of laborer employed. Aggregate demand has the following four components. They are consumption demand, investment demand, government expenditure, and net export, which is export minus import. The desired or planned demand, the expected demand, is the amount that the household, firm, the government, and the foreign purchasers would like to spend on domestic output. In other words, desired demand in the economy is the sum total of desired private consumption expenditure, desired investment expenditure, desired government spending, and desired net export minus import. So that the desired spending is called aggregate spending, total spending. So the desired spending is called aggregate spending, which is demand, total demand, and it can be expressed as aggregate demand is AD. AD equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. This is aggregate demand formula. See here given one picture, which is the figure explained about total demand, which is aggregate demand price increases or decreases with an increase or decrease in the volume of employment. So Keynes explained about the income and output depends upon the laborer employed. That's why here the total demand price increases, aggregate demand price increases or decreases, suppose increasing or decreasing with the increase or decrease in the volume of employment. Suppose laborer increasing the demand, the aggregate demand price will be increased. If it is decreasing, the labor is decreased by the firm, what will be happen here? The aggregate demand price also decreases, which is explained through this diagram. Aggregate demand curve increases at an increasing rate in the beginning. See here, see the diagram. The AD curve. Look at the AD curve. AD curve is increases at an increasing rate in the beginning and then increases at a decreasing rate. Certain stage which is increasing in the decreasing rate. This shows that as income increases owing to increase in employment. See that x-axis measured on employment, y-axis measured on aggregate demand. If income increases, the employment also increasing. Expenditure of the economy increases at a decreasing rate. This is aggregate demand. Able to understand? And aggregate supply function. Aggregate supply function, in short, ASF. Aggregate supply function is an increasing function of the level of employment. Aggregate supply refers to the value of total output of goods and services produced in an economy in a year. In the other words, aggregate supply is equal to the value of national product, which is national income. This is equal to national income, aggregate supply. The aggregate supply refers to the required amount of labor and material to produce necessary output. Here, aggregate supply is determining the required amount of labor and material to produce the necessary output. What are the output they have to produce or giving the output? It is depends upon the labor and material. Employers hire laborers, purchase various inputs and raw material to produce goods. Thus, production involves cost. So that the aggregate supply equal to C plus S plus T plus RF equal to aggregate income generated in the economy. I taught about aggregate supply function theory and the diagram of the ASF we will discuss in the next video. Okay? So till third you have to thorough the lesson. You have to go through the two videos carefully and consider the Say's law of market and Keynesian theories of employment. So today's test is what is assumptions of Say's law and implications of Say's law, criticism of Say's law, and effective demand of classical theory of employment and income, and then aggregate demand function ADF with the diagram. So you have to write these questions and send your paper to the personal number and post your task completed in the group. Okay? All should attend the test and send your paper and also post your task completed without fail. Thank you.